We are going to go back to another excitement publication that we are pleased to share with you today. So as I mentioned at the very beginning of today's event, the city of Pully has been the first city worldwide to allow actually ITU to share publicly in a very transparent and open manner the results of the verification. So the implementation of the KPIs, we usually develop a verification report for the city, and then this is usually a confidential document, but Pully was really very kind, and Alexander will present it to you. Thank you.
Gracias, Cristina. Buenos días. Gracias por las invitaciones. Thank you very much for the honor to be here, speaking here, representing the small city of Pully, which thank you, which overlooks the Lemon Lake side near Geneva and Lausanne, with 18,000 inhabitants. U4SSC verification report of the city of Pully. Okay, thank you. So the result of the application of U4SSC initiative is a 2-meter high Excel chart with 1,000 cells, which requires at least 1 chair and 1 microscope to read. So, and another result is the U4SSC certificate, which was awarded to the city of Pully by ITU and UNECE. Here are the politicians of Pully who represent the city. However, the question remains, how will they be able to communicate with this 2-meter chart with the citizens, with the companies, the other cities, the administration, the regional government, the national government. That's why we launched a second phase project, which consists in developing a user-friendly and intuitive representation of the data so that it could be as comprehensible as possible. To do that, to reach that objective, we met some challenges. The first challenge was how to collect KPI values. In fact, U4SSC initiative can be considered as an excellent thermometer. However, a thermometer, to be truly effective, you need to know that a fever starts at 37 degrees. That's why we collect the KPI target values. A second challenge was to manage the different levels which we daily play with. So we have the local level, the city level of Pully, then the regional level is the Canton de Vaud, then the national level, Swiss state, and the global level with the world. The third challenge was the result representation. So we will begin with the KPI. First representation is just to write the name of the KPI. So for example, water supply loss. Then we draw a little pictogram so that the reader can easily have an easy understanding of the KPI. Then we give an overall result. In this case, we have 3 drops on 4 drops. That means that we reach between 66% to 95% the KPI, the target value. Then we have the result of the KPI measurement, 11% in this case, and a little sentence which explains what is this KPI. So 11% of the water distributed is lost, and the date of data collection 2016. Then we have the target value. In this case, it's 7%. The target values are based on laws, ordinances, regulation. Here it is the PDDE. And finally, we have the measurement at which level we measured the data. In this case, it's locally measured, so it's a good quality of data. Then we do a step back, and here you have on the right page of the report, this is an example, 5 KPIs which represent the category water and sanitation on the left side. So water and sanitation, we have also an overall result, which is based on the overall results of the KPIs. Then we have a little text which summarizes the results. And finally, we describe some municipality actions, some actions taken by the city to manage those KPIs. To highlight certain KPIs, in a practical way, because it's something pretty conceptual, those KPIs, an info box is sometimes added. For example, the local food production KPI is highlighted with an ecological and participatory vegetable garden project. Similarly, so this is the example. Similarly, comments provided by politicians illustrate their way to manage or to move forward with the KPI. In this case, in the case of recreational facilities, they encourage intergenerational activities. Then we have to do another step back. This is the final step back. And the challenge was to represent all the KPIs in one glance. So we choose to transform the 2-meter high Excel chart in a wheel. In the center, you find the 3 main dimensions of sustainable developments. That means economy, environment, social, and culture. Then the sub-themes are the category on the sub-themes with different colors, and then you find all the KPIs with colors which indicates the level of achievement. So if it is in dark green, it's achieved. If it is in green, light green, it is good result. In orange, it's medium. In red, it's bad. And sometimes it's in gray because we didn't find the target values. So, for example, here we can see in a glance that we have effort to make in the field of mobility and the field of sustainable buildings. And that gives to our politicians some trends for the next years. So the strengths with this report is that we have a global overview. We have a limited number of indicators, so it's pretty quick to collect those indicators. We are based on an international norms, ITUT, that makes a common reference for cities worldwide, and this is really interesting to produce common projects. And it gives a sense to ICT because it's used as a tool to contribute to reaching SDGs and not as a finality. At the level of the city of Pully, for our politicians, they told us it's like a step back and they can observe the big picture because they have their own departments and they probably don't know everything on the other departments. So in one glance, they can see how the state of the city. It outlines the middle and long-term trends, and it's material for the future legislative program. Legislative program is a document who is written by the politicians around 6 months after they are elected, and they have to say what they will achieve in the 5 next years. Then this report we considered as a communication tool, internal and external to the city. And it's a great potential to exchange ideas and resources between cities. Now we develop several projects with other cities in Switzerland and also with polytechnical schools, with industry. And it's very interesting to have a communication tool like that. Potential for improvement. Perhaps the difficulty is to take into account the local specificities. The solution could be that we will add some specific and local PUI's KPIs or Swiss KPIs. For example, the state of clean and wastewater network separation. And we could also add some indicators in the global method. For example, as we work with ICT, an indicator about data protection, about cybersecurity, and also citizen relationship with police, and KPI about sport or economic situation. A third potential of improvement would be the impact of the city, which is now measured inside of the borders. And it should be measured at the global level. For example, in Pully, we have a very good KPI, we are very well noticed for electricity consumption. But in fact, we are a city with tertiary activities. So we don't have any industries. That means, but citizens of Pully buy cars, they buy computers, they travel, etc. So they consume electricity, but electricity outside of the cities. So it could be interesting to develop the methodology. I know it's a great challenge, but it could be interesting to really measure the impact of the city, the global impact of the city. The next steps, we will do a regular update, at least every 5 years of the reports with the elections. The next report, we perhaps will add some metadata for the follow-up. Is the KPIs increasing, stable, or decreasing? And to add some local indicators outside of the U4SSC methodology. At the national level, we suggest to the Swiss Confederation that they provide their U4SSC indicators because not every indicators are managed by the city of Pully, but some of them are managed at a higher level. And they could also provide the target values. Finally, for U4SSC initiative, we suggest to provide target values based on the SDGs at a global level and to take into account the global impact of the city. So I have the pleasure, Christina, the pleasure to give you the first exemplar of the report in English and in French.
Thank you.
I will let some examples here so that you can consultate it. As they are pretty heavy, I have only 5 or 6 reports, so please let them here. But like that you can see it and perhaps make some remarks or observations. Thank you. Thank you. And those reports are now available in English and French on our website smart.pully.ch and on the ITU website. So I hope I could highlight the way we try to manage in Pully U4SSC initiative and the way we try to create communication tools. This is an opportunity, those data to create an communication tools to communicate, to dialogue between cities, between citizens, politicians, regional government, national government, and companies. Thank you very much.
Merci beaucoup, Alexandre. Many thanks, Alexandre, because this is for us really a remarkable achievement to have this verification report published, because that's the way how we can show in practice to other cities that they want to implement the KPIs, what it means, how it looks like, what kind of information the city will receive, and how also the city will use this information. So as you can see in the case of Pully, they took it as a sort of policy tool that they will constantly review it every 5 years, depending on when election comes, to set their political priorities, and that's where certainly the U4SSC can help.